Want a soar? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos probably because you're the most ambitious person in your circle. But you know you're capable of much more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and learn how to change the negative patterns that are ruining your life. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Break the negative patterns.
You can change the negative patterns that are running your life. The patterns that you think are impossible to break, that have been with you for life, that will be with you for the rest of your life, you can break them. It starts with a decision. And if you don't want to still be in 20 years living by that same negative pattern that is holding you back, I think this video will help. Most of what we do is subconscious. Most of what we do is beneath the surface. Most of what we do is what we've been conditioned to do and the patterns that we've seen. And you know, if you're watching this, you're likely an adult, and we've been running the same pattern programming for a number of years, if not decades. And it can be really difficult to be able to switch that pattern. But I'm going to give you a formula today that I think will really help, and one that I'm applying myself as well in my life. So step 1 is even just acknowledging that the pattern exists and that you want to make a change. Like, what is the habit? What is the negative loop that's in your mind? What is the thing that you don't want to still be thinking in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? What is that thing? One of the things that I'm working on is moving to a space of great things happen to me. I had a great video coaching session with Beth Handel, and my big aha moment that came from there was I believe in the plan. So whenever I am thinking of something, I make a plan, and then I execute the plan. And I do the plan and I follow the plan. And when I don't believe in the plan, then I create a new plan, then I believe in that plan, and that's the thing that gets me going. So I'm very plan, schedule, calendar oriented. That gives me my security, that gives me my identity. And so as long as I have a plan, easy peasy, let's go. We're waking up, we're making videos because it's in the plan. But then what happens on the rare days, you know, maybe once a month, where I don't believe in the plan anymore. I don't think the plan is good enough to get to where I want to go. And I can't make a new plan. I don't know what the next plan should be. What I have done so that I don't get lost and spiral down into negative thinking, into maybe not depression, but anxiety and stress and overwhelm that I don't know what to do next. You ever been faced with that? Like, I don't know what to do next? My plan has been, see, I'm using the words, just to tell myself great things happen to me. This is what I've done. It's been my coping mechanism. The way out of the stress and the anxiety and not knowing what to do next is me telling myself great things happen to me. And what Beth challenged me to do, and the big insight that came from it, was living not in the identity of the plan, but living in the great things happen to me. So now I'm trying to shift my identity from being the guy who believes in the plan to being the guy who believes that great things happen to me. That instead of using great things happen to me just as a coping mechanism on my worst days, the once a month days when I really don't believe that I'm getting closer to my goals or I'm never gonna hit them, and flipping that to being the default mode. That's really hard. I was not born the plan guy. It took me decades. I'm 42 coming up in May. I'm 42, and it took me decades to become the plan guy. You know, 2 decades to become the plan guy. And now I'm not getting rid of the plan guy. Thank you, plan guy. You got me here. I appreciate you, you know, pat in the back. I still need you. Please stay with me on this journey. But I want to be the guy who believes that great things are coming. Because at the end of the day, all your great things, all your great ideas, all your great breakthroughs usually don't come as a result of the plan. It's maybe a byproduct of the plan, but not a direct result of the plan. Because the plan only is something that you know exists right now. It's what I've talked about, making decisions with your head versus your heart. Big decisions with your heart, small with the head. The head only understands the world that currently exists, where your heart can create something brand new. And so I want to be in the brand new. I want to create something that hasn't been done before. And so you can't plan for something that hasn't been done before. And you need to have some faith that great things will happen. And so that's a long way of me saying that I am trying to become the guy who believes that great things happen to me as a default state. I believe that. When I say that, when I create video and I say that on camera or when I'm talking, I believe that. I believe the great things come to me. If I keep going, if I keep making, if I keep sharing, if I lead with my heart, if I tap into what I feel is the right thing to do, even if it doesn't make sense, I believe that great things will happen. And I've seen enough of that happen over my life and career that I believe it. And if you're not quite there yet, just look for some small wins. That when you have help, when you have shared, when you have created from the heart, you've gotten some small wins. And if you keep going, you can have slightly bigger wins and medium-sized wins and then large wins and then gigantic wins. If you just keep going. So how do I shift? And we're working through this in real time. I'm not sharing a story that is, 20 years old, like I sometimes might do, the foundation story. So how do I shift? How do I shift from being the plan guy to the great things will happen to me guy? I think it could be a useful mini case study for you if there's something that you want to work on, that you want to improve at. You're tired of telling yourself a different story and you want to shift it. So here's what I'm doing. First off is trigger words, right? So if I say plan, that's a trigger word. Plan, ooh, plan, here's my plan. Like, oof, plan, I said it again. Not that it's bad, right? For yours, it might be bad. It might be a critical, you telling yourself that you're stupid or that you can't, right? Can't could be another a trigger word, or hard is another trigger word. The fact that you're not gonna do something because it's hard, that's a trigger word, right? So what are the trigger words that you tell yourself as to why you can't do something, or that keep you locked in your negative patterns? What are those trigger words that anytime you catch it, you say it, you feel it, you tell somebody else it, that like, oh, there it is again, I'm noticing it. Or you can tell the people in your life, your family, your friends, your spouse, the people on your team, you can tell them, hey, if I ever say this word, I want you to call me out on it. So you can have people kind of support you through this journey as well. Number 2 is you try to design in a conscious way, applying it in your life consistently. So the next thing I did as soon as I got off that coaching call with Beth was I told my wife, and I said, hey, great things happen to us. I told her what happened, and great things happened to us. Great things happen to us. Great things happen to us. And I must say that at least 40 times a day. Great things happen to me, talking to myself, or great things happen to us. If you want, you can set it as an alarm in your phone. You could put it as a background on your computer screen. You can put it as a sticky note on the bathroom mirror or the door. I have an email that I sent myself that I didn't delete out of my inbox. So I always see it in my inbox every day when I'm checking my email. I check my email once a day, and it's always the last email that I check because I never remove it from my inbox. And it says, this is your great things happen to you reminder. This is your great things happen to you reminder. Every time it's like, oh, that's right, great things happen to me. Because that's still it's nowhere close to being my default, but I'm working towards becoming that person. So it's the decision to do it, and then with intention, putting things into your calendar so that it happens. So again, maybe you're setting an alarm on your phone, maybe you're putting the picture up on your wall, you're telling your friends and the people around you, and you're finding a way to repeat it. And I'm not judging myself as to, I need to get this done next week. I just want to make a little bit of progress every day. Beth team reached out and wanted to do a round 2 of coaching, and I said, I'm still, thank you, it's amazing. I'm still working on the last thing, The great things happen to me shift in mindset is something that I'm working through, and it's incredibly powerful, and I don't think I need any help for anything else yet. I'm still working through this thing. This week has been a really challenging week for Nina and myself as well. We ran our Build to Serve challenge, which was crazy. When we first did it, the idea that was pitched to me was 7 days, 45 minutes to an hour each day, and we ended up going the 7 days in 3 to 4 hours each day, which I didn't budget for, but it was amazing, helping thought leaders and speakers and coaches and entrepreneurs, authors. Just the energy and the vibe and the love was so amazing that it took up an incredible amount of time. at the same time, we just bought a brand new house, which is super exciting. And so selling this place. And so I had to move my office. You might notice it's a different background than usual. I guess I could have done it in my car. But I'm not in my usual studio, my office, because we have a makeshift office while we get our place ready to list today. So we're packing and moving and switching all the artwork and all of that stuff while running a challenge. Yesterday, I hit the side of a curb that had a rock, not a rock, like a boulder, and it punctured my tire, and not just like giant hole in my tire. So, okay, we have to go and get the car fixed on top of everything else, which is why I can't film in the car like I normally do, because I don't have a car right now because it's being fixed because I blew out the tire, and just issue over issue over issue. And my niece was with us yesterday, and she made a comment to my wife, Nina, about how calm we were through everything. Like, okay, well, the car tire got blown out. That completely changes how we spend the rest of today now. Instead of doing these errands and taking people here and all of this stuff on Nina's birthday, by the way, it's like, okay, well, here's what we need to do now. Okay, we got to get it fixed. We got to figure out how to solve these other problems, and let's go. And my niece was blown away by how we weren't arguing or fighting or yelling or super stressed. Just, okay, let's solve the problem and keep moving on with our day. Why? Because great things happen to us. Great things happen to us. And that's, when something negative going on, even if it doesn't feel real, it'll be something that Nina and I will laugh over. Great things happen to us. Oh, that happened? Okay, great. Great thing. You know what? Great things happen to us. We will figure out a way through this. Great things happen to us. And in that ongoing conditioning, the more that it's around us, the more that I say it, I believe it a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And I guess you could call it affirmations. I never really connected to affirmations that much because it felt, if I was saying something that I didn't believe in, that it wouldn't work for me. And because I already believed that it wouldn't work for me, then I've already set myself up for failure from the beginning. I think the key thing is, if you want to be able to change that mindset, you want to change the habit loop, you have to find something that you actually, on your best days, believe. There's a kernel of truth in there, right? If you're 400 pounds and you say, I'm skinny, I'm skinny, I'm skinny, I think a lot of, in your head, you say, well, that's BS, I'm not skinny. And then you don't, there's no even kernel of truth to it, so then you never do the actions to help you get there. Where on your best days, what do you believe about yourself? On your best days, how do you handle problems? So when I say great things happen to me, I believe it. I actually believe that wasn't something that was given to me. That wasn't something that somebody once told me. That wasn't somebody that a coach told me that, hey, you have to use this now as your mantra. I believe it. On my best days, I believe it. I believe it. I can tap into that, and I believe it. There's a kernel of truth to it. And I want to make that kernel, grow into something much, 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 much bigger. So homework would be to think about, on your best days, what do you believe about yourself? What's the specific language, the specific words that you would say to yourself to encourage yourself, or you're looking back and you're proud of yourself? On your best days, what do you believe about yourself? And then finding a way to make that a daily part of your life, so that when the negative things come, you can tell yourself this as a reminder, and it starts to shift everything for you.
Rule number 2, model success.
The fastest path for you to get the success you're after is to model success. The idea here is simple. You find people who have already done the thing that you want to do, learn from them, understand what they did to get there, and then try on their hat, right? See what worked for them and apply it to your business. This is what worked for me. This is what saved my company. Bill Gates saved my first company, even though I've never met him. I haven't yet. We're going to make it happen, hopefully soon. I was struggling. I had a upstart software company that wasn't making money, and I quit on my business partner, and I woke up the next day and said, I need to find a way to make this happen. I can't quit on this too soon because I'm going to regret it if I don't keep going. And so I said, who has done this before? Who's done this? and I thought of Bill Gates. It was just the first person that came to mind was Bill Gates. So I looked at his story and how did he build Microsoft? Well, it was through partnerships. And so I started making partnerships in my business. I had nothing else to lose. I was already at rock bottom, right? I had already quit on my partner. It was hopeless. So let's just give this a shot. And within, I don't know, a couple months, maybe even sooner, I landed my first partnership deal for $13,500. And at the time, guys, I was making $300 a month. So that money meant the world to me. Like that was bank. And more important than that, it gave me hope, you know, like this could happen. This business could actually work. And it gave me a model to then go and do it again and again and again. And ever since then, whenever I don't know what to do, I model success. I find someone who's done it and I try to apply their strategies and make it work for me. But this is the important thing. Not every strategy is going to work the same way for them as it did for you. So maybe waking up early is your ticket. Maybe waking up later is going to be your ticket. There's people who've done both. Which is the one that's going to work for you? You won't know by sitting on the couch and thinking about it. The best thing you can do is just go and try. You try on their hat, right? Bill Gates did this. Dan Lok does this. Bruce Lee does this. Awesome. Try it. Try it and see. People prejudge so early. You have to change your habits. If you want to get something more than you have right now, it's because you're doing something different than what you're doing right now. And different is scary. Different means you don't know if it's going to work out or not. Different is different. We don't want to do different, right? You want to stay inside our comfort zone. That's not where your success is going to come. But not everything you try is going to work. Even the ones that do work won't work 100%. The way that Bill Gates did partnerships in his business is different than the way that I did it. But just that idea alone took me 80% of the way. Modeling success takes you 80% of the way. And then that final 20% is you got to make the adjustments to make it your own. Because otherwise you just end up being a junior version of somebody else instead of being you. But I think we're too often just judging people. You're judging a strategy saying, well, that's not going to work for me without even trying it. And so I have this channel where you can learn from people every day. I have my top 10 rules where you can watch those videos and learn from people every day. If you watch a top 10 video, these are 10 rules for some of the most successful people on the planet in the history of humanity. Here they are with 10 different lessons. Not all of those 10 lessons have to work for you, have to apply to you. Take one of them, take two of them, and just do something. Just apply it to your life, apply it to your business, and see if you get a result. That's the key. And so you need to get out of your head. You need to get out of your own way, and you need to just start doing. The best thing you can do is go from idea to action. And when you see something that kind of makes sense, that might be a fit for you, just start doing it. Stop judging, start doing it, and apply it to your business and see if it works. Give it a shot.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief where every day for 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below.
Create an outline and a schedule. What I found really helpful for me was to create an outline at the start.
People who win work the hardest because they love what they do.
If you're doing work that you love, you're more likely to follow through. You're more likely to do it because it doesn't feel like work, because you love doing it.
Rule number 3, ignore bad advice.
The people who are telling you that your idea won't work are not the people whose life that you want. So why are you listening to them? Your Uncle Joe, your Aunt Susan, the rest of your family, the people who you grew up with from high school, look at their life. Look at their life right now. Take away their words and what they're telling you, remove the emotion from it. Look at their life. Do you want a life like theirs? Because their advice will lead to a life like theirs. If not, then you probably should be doing the exact opposite of what they're telling you to do. Now, I think there's two types of people who will give you negative feedback. You got the haters, and then you got the people who are just ignorant. And there's a big difference between those two. So let's start with the haters. The haters, I call the little man, the haters, their entire role in their life is to bring other people down. Maybe they took their shot. This is actually quite frequent. They took their shot, they tried, they didn't work, they failed, and so now nobody around them can be successful. They get their value, they get their self-love by destroying other people because it makes them feel better about themselves. It's like watching some train wreck on reality TV show, right? Watching relationships and lives fall apart because it makes you feel better about your life. You feel better about your life when you see somebody else's life be a total mess, right? Those are the haters. Now, how do you deal with them? It starts by understanding that
if you believe, like I believe, that humans are built to serve, right? People are built to serve. You want to do good. People are good, right? Both of those things. Humans are good and we're built to serve. Then what would get somebody who is good and built to serve to leave a nasty, negative comment or to tell you that you suck or your deal is not going to work out? What would drive them to do it? They really hate their life, right? Like empathy is the first step. Just feeling bad for them, not sympathy and using that as a negative against them. Not saying, well, your life sucks, so I'm not going to. That's not going to help anything. It's actual, genuine empathy. If the highlight of somebody's day is coming to this video and leaving a negative comment, it's okay. I feel bad for that person. If that's the highlight of your day, then you must be in a really rough spot if you believe that people are good and they're built to serve. And so what that does is remove the sting out of the comment. When somebody is raging on you that you suck and that your idea is never going to work, having empathy to understand, wow, this person is likely in a really tough spot, that removes the sting of the words and allows you to then be more practical, less emotional, to respond emotionally and feel like, oh my God, maybe they're right. Maybe they have a point. Maybe I do suck. Say, wait a minute. This person, they hate their life. Why am I listening to them? Right? Just like the wake up call out of the head game that you're in. Listen to their advice. So those are the haters. Remove the sting and then allow you to make a practical decision. The second part are the people who are ignorant. They're your friends, your family, the people around you who they actually love you, right? Chances are your parents love you. Your mom probably loves you, right? Most moms love their kids. Your parents probably love you. So why would they be telling you not to go do something? Why would they be telling you advice against what you want to hear? Because they grew up in a different era. Your parents are pilgrims. Your parents don't understand the world that exists. Your parents don't understand that you can have a full-time business from this. It doesn't make sense. When your parents were your age, they couldn't do the things that you can do. So they want you to be successful. The people around you who love you want you to be successful. They have a different definition of success. Success to them looks different than it does for you because they're from a different era, and that's okay. Again, starting point is empathy. Understand that these words that are coming out of their mouth is love. They're trying to express love. They're concerned for you. They want you to win. They just have a different version of what winning looks like. And so when you're dealing with parents or friends or family, chances are the thing that you're great at, Michael Jordan level talent at, the thing that you want, is not the thing that your family does. And so it takes a lot of courage and strength to say, here's what my family does, here's what my community does, here's what my friends are doing, I want to be doing this. That's hard. That takes a lot of strength and courage. And then these people, they don't want to see you go off and do that because they want you to stay here. They want you to stay in their community. What does it say about them if you're off doing something else, right? It's their own fears and insecurities. Because if you go off and have success over here, it makes them feel bad about themselves. They start to doubt themselves and what they're doing. They don't want to do that. So having empathy, right? Understanding that. And then especially if dealing with parents, I'm going harder on the parents because I get so many entrepreneurs who are asking me about how to deal with my parents. When you are trying to pitch your idea and say, here's what I want to do, and you are absolutely convinced that it's going to work, guess what's going to happen? Your parents or the people who love you will double down on why it's not the thing to do. If you say, I'm going to go be a YouTuber, right? Great. I want to be a full-time YouTuber. And you can say, well, look at all these people who've had successful careers as full-time YouTubers. Right? You go tell them that. They say, that's crazy. Don't be a YouTuber. You go get a job. Go be a lawyer. Like that's safe, that's stable. Go into real estate. That's what you should be doing. Don't go be a YouTuber. That's crazy. The more certain you are in it, the more they're going to think you're crazy and they're going to double down on it. The more you think, of course it's going to work out. What are you talking about? Why don't you support me? Right? If you're fighting, why don't you love me? Why don't you support me? Why don't you encourage me? Look at all these people having success. Of course I can do it. What, don't you believe in me? The more you attack them and are certain in your position, the more they're going to build up their walls and be more certain in their position because they think this person doesn't understand what's happening. This person is so blind. How do you not see this thing? On the other hand, if you approached it from a softer side, if you said, listen, I don't know if it's going to work out. I know a lot of people try and don't work out in business. A lot of entrepreneurs never make it. I'm afraid that it won't work. But I have to try. I have to try because I know that if I don't try, I'm going to regret it. I'm going to get to the end of my life and I'm going to regret not having taken my shot. And I don't want to look back on my life and say, this was my moment to try and I was too afraid. I don't want to be afraid. I would rather know and fail than not know. And I'm scared. And I hope you can understand that and support that. That's a lot easier for somebody to come down and say, okay, I understand. You're not attacking them. You're leaning on vulnerability and your fears and insecurities more than on certainty that this is going to work. And it's likely going to lead to a much healthier relationship and healthier conversation. Now, it doesn't mean that they're automatically going to accept you and yes, that's what you're going to do. And then you have to decide, are you going to live your life or your parents' version of your life? Your family's version of your life? Your community's version of your life? When you get to decide that it's your life. When you're 4 years old, you don't have a choice, right? You do what your parents tell you to do. When you become an adult though, what is it, 14? Is it 16? Is it 20? Is it 25? Is it 32? Are you gonna be 50 and still doing what your parents want you to do? Like at what age you get to decide? Are you gonna say, this is my life and I'm gonna live my life, and if people support me, great, and if not, I'm gonna be an army of one and I'm gonna will it into existence. So if you're an entrepreneur doing crazy, amazing things, you got this vision, you want to change the world, you want to serve, you want to have an impact, you want to make money, you're going to be faced with a lot of people who will criticize you because you want to disrupt the status quo, do something different. There's a lot of people who don't want you to do something different. They like the status quo. They want you to just fit inside the status quo. Fit inside this perfect puzzle piece, sit in your box, and you're good to go, right? A lot of people will want that for you. And over that course of you building your amazing dream business, you're gonna get faced with both kinds of people giving you negative feedback, the haters and the people who are just ignorant. And learning to start with empathy, understand where they're coming from, and then deal with it in a way that is empowering, using the strategies I gave you, will give you more confidence and courage and positivity and energy and optimism to move forward, because you need it. Because building a business is crazy tough, crazy hard, and you need all the support you can get. And if at the end of the day you still have nobody who supports you, you can come on back to Believe Nation, because we're here every day. There's a lot of love from me, but also you guys in the comments, in the community. You can share your thoughts, share what you're going through, and chances are you have somebody who will help you, who will be a guiding support, who will listen to you and support you as well.
Rule number 4, don't tie your self-worth to winning.
You're afraid of experimenting because you tie your self-worth to winning instead of trying. If you base your self-worth off how much you win, then you're only going to try things that you have a good chance of winning at, thus you play small for life. But instead, if you base your self-worth on trying, on the effort that you're putting in, you will fail on most days, but you'll end up accomplishing more than you ever thought was possible. So every time I go to a YouTube event, I'm always being praised by my thumbnails. People always say, Evan's got the best thumbnails, go look at his thumbnails, model his thumbnails, use them as an example for the best practice. And I internally am always saying our thumbnails suck. We need to get better. Sure, we might be among the best, but we need to get better. We could be way better than we are right now. Why have we become the best? Because I'm experimenting constantly. Most of my tests do not work. I use a tool called TubeBuddy. Shout out TubeBuddy, huge fan. We've done over 1,100 split tests on our thumbnails, where we run one thumbnail against another and one against another and one against another, trying to beat our best. And most of the experiments don't work. They just don't work. I recently ran an experiment of, on my main channel, putting my face on the thumbnail with the YouTube white border against Tony Robbins. And it tanked. It was like 80% worse than our current thumbnail. And that's okay. People don't like my face next to Tony Robbins. That is okay. I'm fine with it. I expect to lose. I expect everything I do not to work, but I'm willing to test it to see. I just recently came up with one thumbnail design where I made the background purple instead of black. Purple instead of black. And it actually did better. It did significantly better. And so now I'm testing it out on 5 more thumbnails to see, does the purple one do better than the black one? If that works out, maybe I roll it out across the entire channel. But it's very rare that I find the win. Out of the 1,100 experiments that we've done, most of them will not work, will never work. Even from the beginning, I'm thinking this is probably not gonna work, but I'm willing to test. That's okay. Even if the most likely outcome is failure, it's worth the test to see. I think we've been conditioned so much that failing is bad. that when you fail, you suck and everybody ridicules you, and then that's the end. The people who have won the most have failed the most. Jeff Bezos has failed the most. He's tried so many things and most of them do not work out. And that's fine. People don't see the losses when you've got a couple wins under your belt. But how do you get to the wins? Through all the losses, right? Most people, they take one bet, they lose because you don't know what you're doing the first time out. You lose and then you never get back and do it again. You never get up and try again. You settle for a mediocre life because you're not meant to be an entrepreneur. You're not meant to be an expert. You can never make it. And you tell this story to yourself. You just failed once. That's all. You should suck at the beginning. Most things should fail at the beginning. If you start studying success, and I've studied more successful people than most people, you'll see that it's a history of losses and failures and defeats in the micro that then they learn from. And they find one thing that works, and then they push all their chips in and go all in on that thing. That's the only difference. They're not any more special than you. They just are more willing to experiment, to try, and to fail. Now I've got a 3-step process to help you experiment more and stop caring so much what other people think that I think will help. Step number 1 is expect to suck at the start. Just expect to suck. It's crazy how people expect to be great the first time out. The first thumbnail that you're gonna make is gonna suck. The first person that you hire on your team is gonna suck. Not because they suck, it's because you suck as a manager, as a trainer, as a leader in hiring. You suck, it's your fault. Look at most companies and look at the first 10 people that they hired. Big companies, those 10 people aren't around anymore because the entrepreneur founder sucked at hiring. You will hire the wrong person. It doesn't mean that you can never hire people or should always be a solo entrepreneur. You just don't have that skill set yet. Okay, awesome. The first video that you make will suck. Go back and watch my first videos. They all sucked. I was completely embarrassed by the first 350 public videos on my channel. Completely embarrassed. Could not watch them back, ever. Awesome, keep going. You're gonna step up to the free throw line and try to shoot a basketball. You're not gonna get it in the first time, you just won't. I think actually if you're great the first time out, then you actually suck. Like if you get on camera and you make your first video, and you're great, you suck. You should have started 4 years ago. You should have started way before. You've waited too long. You're sleeping and sitting on your talent. So expect to suck. Expect the first thing to have 0 results. And you're just paying attention to, did you enjoy the process? I may have sucked at making videos at the beginning, but I liked it. I liked the process. And I slowly got better. And with time and effort and practice and patience, I got better. 6,000 videos later, here I am with my channel. And hopefully I continue to get better. But it's always because I expect to suck at the beginning. Step number 2 is watch your language. This is really important. You need to watch the language that you say, especially to yourself. You can ask other people to catch it for you, but you try to catch it yourself. Anytime you hear yourself saying hard, difficult, or scary, hard, difficult, or scary, let that be a trigger. It's a trigger. You're not allowed to say that anymore. That is not an acceptable reason for you not to do something. Why are you not gonna make a video? Because it's hard. Nope. Because it's difficult. Nope. Because it's scary. Nope. No. You do hard. You do difficult. You do scary. You love it. You want to do hard, difficult, and scary. What's the opposite? The opposite of hard, difficult, and scary is you do things that you are already good at, that are inside your comfort zone. Thus, you hate your life. If there's nothing in your calendar for the next week, next month that is hard, difficult, or scary, you hate your life. You're just photocopying the same day over and over and over and over again. You want something more. You know you're capable of something more. That's how it happens. And so it's a great little acid test. It's a great reminder that every time you hear yourself saying it, it's go time. You have to go do it. You have to, just because you said it. And have the people around you call you out on it too. Your husband, your wife, your kids, your friends, your family, your community, people around you. If you ever answer a question, I'm not gonna do it because it's hard, because it's difficult, or because it's scary, it's not an acceptable answer anymore. Because you do hard, you do difficult, and you love scary. And then step number 3 is tie your self-worth to the effort. Applaud the effort regardless of the result. I had a recent podcast with my friend Mark Drager, and I asked him, Mark, I need you to celebrate a point where you were proud of your effort, but you didn't get a result. Because he's so tied to getting results, which is great. But if you only tie your self-worth to getting results, you're gonna take small bets. You're only gonna play inside your comfort zone, and thus you play small for life. So I said, when was the last time that you were so proud of your effort, even though you didn't get a result? And he couldn't think of something on the spot. That's the problem. That's the problem. You're not rewarding it enough. Tie your self-worth to the effort. What have you done today, or what will you do today, this week, this month, that you're proud of the effort, even if the result is 0, even if the result is negative. You put up a video that you're working your face off to try to record and get out. You spend a whole day recording it, you finally get one, you post it, and everybody laughs at you. It's a negative result. Most people probably won't even care. But let's say you get a negative, awesome. I'm pumped for you. I'm pumped for you. I use the example when people are afraid to ask me questions in workshops or seminars, and they finally come up and they do something, whether it's just asking a question or performing or making a video or singing or whatever their talents are, come up and do it. Come on up and do it. And they're nervous and they're shy. And a lot of these people have been sitting on this talent for 5, 10 years and they haven't expressed it yet because they've been too afraid. And I tell them, even if you come up and you just vomit all over the place, you vomit all over me, I am pumped for you because you tried, because you stood up and you tried. Because if you got up every day and did that and you tied your self-worth to your effort instead of the results there are terrible, right? Really negative. You vomited on somebody. It's pretty bad. But if you got up every day and were proud of your effort, you got up again and you did it again and again and again and again, I promise you, you'll get results. And way bigger results than if you just did things that kept you in your comfort zone.
Rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, find your core value.
If you want to figure out your purpose, you need to figure out what you stand for as a human. I brought a whole book on it. It's here. It's called Your One Word. It's about finding your most important core value. Who are you? When you understand what your single most important core value is, everything else becomes so much easier. So for me, it's believe, right? Believe is my single most important core value. How does that help? Well, with every decision that I make, it's seen through the lens of belief. Every video content that I make is about belief. It has to be. Every interaction I have, every workshop, every book, every meeting, all of it has to be run through the believe framework, right? The glasses of belief. If I'm hiring somebody onto my team, skills alone aren't enough. It's great that you can write copy. Do you believe in entrepreneurs? It's a big difference. So when you understand your core value, everything else becomes clearer and you're less likely to follow what other people want you to do. Everybody around you, they have a goal for you, even if it's well-intentioned. They have opinions on what you should do with your life. Everybody around you. This is what you should do with your life. Everybody has an opinion. You don't know which way to go? If you don't know which way to go, it's because you don't know what you stand for, because you're standing on quicksand. But when you understand your one word, your who, your most important core value, it's like you're standing on a rock that nobody can push you from. So how do you figure that out quickly, right? I mean, this is 200 something pages. Let's boil it down super quick for you. You want to think about all the people that you love, your favorite teacher, what you loved about your parents. Think about your favorite musician, your favorite band, your favorite song, your favorite movie, your favorite book, all your favorite things. The things that when you are around, consuming it, reading it, being with them, it makes you feel bold, alive, amazing, confident, unstoppable, right? We've all had those moments. It's just not consistent enough yet. We're gonna make it for you. It's just not consistent enough yet. And so write down a list of 5 to 10 things that make you come alive. Again, people, your favorite teacher, movies, all of those things that make you, that you love, like you could get lost spending time with them or reading them or listening to them. Then write down 3 keywords that describe each of them. So your favorite teacher, why did you love Mr. Jones? It's not because he taught you grade 4 math, right? There was something else about Mr. Jones that you love. Why do I love Seabiscuit, the movie? Because it's about an oversized jockey and an undersized horse and an owner that has no money and all of these things, and they all come together. It's believe, right? My parents taught me that I'm Evan Castrelli Carmichael and I can do anything that I believe that I can, right? And so through all the things that I love, believe is the common thread. What is it for you? You have to figure it out. You have to figure it out. It doesn't have to take you years of work. Just write down all of the people and the things that you love, 3 keywords for each. Like, do this. This is important. Just do it today. It'll make a huge difference in your life. It's worth it. This is the best 15 minutes you can spend in your life. Do it. Pause the video and do it. And then just see what comes up consistently. What word comes up over and over and over and over and over and over again? Chances are that's your one word. That's your who. Then when you discover it, you have to start living that life. So, if my one word is believe, then I got to think, okay, who around me is not believe? What am I doing that is not believe? What projects am I working on that are not believe? And it gives you clarity and forces some tough decisions. And the more unhappy you are right now in your life or business is because you are out of alignment with your one word. If I was doing something that was anti-believe, even if it made tons of money, I'm not going to be happy because it's against who I am. It's against my core value. Same thing for you. If you are unhappy, it's because you're doing things that don't align well with your core value and you don't know what your core value is. So fix it. Do the exercise, Don't watch step number 2 until you've done step number 1. Step number 2 is your why. So first was who, next is why. Your why is your purpose. Your purpose comes from your pain. The thing that you struggled with the most as a human, right? Purpose from pain. The thing you struggled with the most as a human is the thing that you want to help other people with for life. I love helping entrepreneurs. I can believe in anybody. I believe in people. I believe everybody has Michael Jordan level talent, right? I believe. But I believe in entrepreneurs a lot more. Why? Because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. Because I was making $300 a month and not able to survive and doubting myself and feeling worthless as a human being, right? That was me. I remember when I was 19, building up my first company. And so now my purpose is to help other people who currently feel that way. And I love helping more successful entrepreneurs. It's fine. It's great helping people who have $1 million or 10 million or even more in sales. But I'm still super connected to the early stage, to the startup, to the person who feels not good enough, that they're not going to make it, because that's where I struggled. That's who I was. And so whatever you struggled with, you've gone through some pain. Whatever the most painful moment was in your life, not physical pain, emotional struggle, feeling worthless. When did you feel the most worthless as a human being? The point of this isn't to inflict pain and make you feel terrible. The point is that whatever that moment was, there are currently tons of people who are going through the same thing. There are right now, many people around the world who are going through the exact same thing that you went through. Even if you're not done climbing out of the hole, you're further ahead than where you were. Your purpose for the rest of your life is to help other people who currently are what you used to be. I had a DM from a woman on Instagram who said, the only thing that made me come alive was the thing that destroyed my life. The only time I felt exhilarating was doing something that then destroyed my life. And so she feels lost and no purpose. There's something better. The high that you got from doing the thing that destroyed your life, there's a better high. The better high is helping people who are currently destroying their life with the same thing that you went through. That's fulfillment. Helping people get out of the hole who are exactly like you. That's fulfillment. It'll fill you up to a level I can't even explain. You'll feel so much love and explosion inside you. It's like, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. And people are built to serve. You wanna help people. It's hardwired into us, right? It hits the same part of the brain as food and sex. You wanna serve. But how do you serve? The people who you'll serve the most and feel the most lit up with are the people who currently are who you used to be. And step number 3 is how. So who, why, then how. Step number 3 is how. How you got out of the problem that you were in, the big hole that you were in. How did you get out? Again, even if you're not totally done getting out. And by the way, you're never done getting out. My biggest strength is believe, and my biggest weakness is believe. The biggest reason why I'm not further ahead of where I should be right now is because of lack of belief in myself. It's my greatest strength. I believe in myself way more than I did when I was 19 or 13 or 12 or 28, all of it. But if 78-year-old Evan came back to talk to this version of Evan right now, say your biggest problem is you not believe in yourself enough. It's a lifelong game. It's a lifelong journey. It's great. You don't want it to end. You want to grow forever. But every time you grow, every time you learn, every time you get better, you have a responsibility, a duty, the service to reach back and help other people climb up one more step. You take another step up, you pull somebody with you. You pull somebody else with you. You pull somebody else with you. That's the process. How you got out, how you saved yourself. Again, even if you're not done, but how you got better than where you used to be isn't some random fluke. There's a lot of people who never figure it out. The method, the way that you got out is teachable. You can help others. You can show them the path. You represent hope that it's possible. And so for me, it was modeling success, right? The thing that saved my business was modeling success, modeling what Bill Gates did to build Microsoft. And so what have I done for the past 20 years is just model success, just find other people who've been doing it. And I learn and I get better and I share that with you guys. So hopefully you can learn from people like Don Napani. You can learn from all the people that I profile on my various channels, because I want to give the gift to you as well. I'm learning, I'm getting better, and hopefully you are as well. So your how is teachable. Most people think their how is just some random thing that just happened to them and super specific and they can't help. No. What you did is a recipe, and that can save many other people as well. That's the process. That's how you find your purpose. Who I have, go through it. I wrote a new book. It's called Built to Serve. I'm going on tour. The links we'll put down in the description below if you want to pre-order the book or join me on tour. But it's one of the most important things that I think people need. It's the most common question I get asked. How do I find my passion? How do I find my purpose? This is it. Go through the process. Buy the book if you want to, but go through the process. It does not have to take years of contemplating and thinking. It doesn't have to take thousands and thousands of dollars to sit down with somebody to help you figure it out. That's the process. Go through it. It doesn't have to be hard. It's very simple. The most powerful things in the world are simple. This is your simple truth. And when you discover it, it's so powerful. It's so overwhelming sometimes. The gift that you could give to the world, that becomes your duty, your obligation. You are built to serve. You have a powerful message, a powerful mission, and I want you to discover it. Discover your Michael Jordan level talent. Save the world. Let's do it together.
Happiness comes from knowing who you are and then having the courage and confidence to step out onto that ledge. Step out onto the ledge, and go live it, and go be you. Because it's hard, because it's tough, because you're going to get judged, because we're constantly comparing our version of happiness to somebody else. I'm here in Puerto Rico. Brendan Burchard invited me down to speak to his mastermind group. These people pay $30,000 to $50,000 a year to be a part of it, and I'm honored to be a guest. And the thing that I see consistently from all the people who are here, right? Imagine if you're dropping 30 to 50K to be here, how much are you making so that you want to come down, right? Everybody's doing the thing that makes them come alive. And that's a secret of entrepreneurship, at least the ones who are successful. That your version of happiness is going to look different than somebody else's. You're a weird duck. That's awesome. Go live it. Brendan came on stage and started talking about his daily routine. Brendan doesn't do anything work-related typically until about 1 o'clock. He wakes up, he walks the beach, he meanders, he plays with his cat, he does all of these things that get him in the right mental framework, and his first call is 1 o'clock. So he said that I want you guys to try something. Tomorrow, go out and walk the beach, right? Go out and walk the beach. Try that first thing in the morning. He moved the start time. We're supposed to start at 9, he moved the start time to 10 o'clock because he wanted us to walk the beach just as an experiment to see. And I did it. I went out, I walked the beach, and it was good. But it's not the thing that brings me happiness, right? Living in tropical paradise, it's not my thing. I like concrete. I like the concrete jungle. I like being steps away to everything. I like insane high-speed internet, you know. The things that make me happy are going to be different than Brendan Burchard, they're going to be different than you. It's just about figuring out what the heck is the thing that makes you happy. And then spending as much time as possible doing that thing. A lot of it is still just a mind game. So how do you do it? Let's start this process. 1, think about the people in your life that make you happy. Think about the people in your life that when you spend time with them and then you leave, you feel more energetic than before. They gave you energy as opposed to stealing it. Dan DePane calls it energy vampires, the people who suck your energy, right? You leave them and you feel depleted. Most people are going to be the energy vampires, but you'll have some people who are positive, uplifting, and when you leave them, you feel better about yourself, better about your life, more energetic, ready to take on the week ahead, the day ahead, the month ahead, the year ahead, what have you. Who are those people? Make a list of those people, and then try to spend more time with them. Try to find a project you can work on together, or if it's just meeting once a month for coffee. Try to spend more time with people who lift you up, who make you feel amazing. 2, make a list of all the things that make you feel happy in terms of activities. What activities do you love to do? I love salsa dancing. I love League of Legends. Even League of Legends, let me tell you, League of Legends, if you don't know League of Legends, it's a video game. I've been playing for 5 years. I'm not particularly good at it. I don't spend enough time on it to get amazing, but I like it. I love it. It's fun. In my downtime, I'm either salsa dancing or playing League of Legends. That's it. Those are my hobbies. I don't cook. I don't walk the beach. I don't garden. I almost do nothing. It's entrepreneurship, League of Legends, and salsa dancing. That's pretty much it. I could come here to Puerto Rico and never eat in any restaurant. The first 2 days, before Nina came here, the first 2 days I had cashews and almonds for dinner. maybe not the healthiest, like long-term nutritional diet, but no need to go out and explore the different restaurants. It's entrepreneurship, League of Legends, and salsa dancing. Already in that, there's a level of happiness, because it's also saying no to the things that I don't really particularly enjoy doing. I don't want to go to karaoke. I don't want to go out and try this other place. You know, I don't want to. I'm good. I'm good. This is what makes me happy. Talking about League of Legends was a little bit shameful, I think, at the beginning, where to say that I was playing a video game as opposed to doing something more valuable or meaningful with my time. But now I talk about it. I like it. It's fun. And if you don't think it's fun, that's awesome. And if you want to judge me for what I find fun, go for it. But you've got your own thing. Everybody's got their own thing that we're embarrassed to talk about, that we're ashamed to say out loud. And you can't be happy unless you do. You know, Gary Vee's got his jets. He's got the garage sailing. Putting out garage sailing videos, he got judged a lot for from his friends. You've got something like that too. I've got League of Legends. And so having the courage to then say, this is me, and to share it, and to be okay with it, and to not be embarrassed by it. Having the courage to go off and actually start living that life. To do it, to go and do it. Feel good about yourself. That's where the happiness comes from. And third, I would say, make sure that you're consuming content that makes you feel happy. You know, these videos, I've gotten so much from Gary, I've gotten so much from all the people I've profiled. It makes me feel happier. It makes me feel more aligned. You know, I'm not hanging with Gary every weekend. You're not hanging with me every weekend. But you can get the videos, and you can remind yourself that this world exists, and you want to play in it more often as opposed to where you are, because where you are right now isn't where you want to be, and that's okay. You don't have to stay where you are forever. And so the things that will get you out, the things that will lead to the ultimate happiness, is figuring out, one, what makes you happy, right? For me, it's not the beach. It's an it. I don't want to live here. It's great, it's beautiful, amazing, but I don't want to. I think those people hanging out on the beach there with the umbrellas, I think they're nuts. Awesome, go do you. It's not for me. Understand what makes you happy. Hang around with people who make you happy. Do the activities that make you happy. Consume the videos, content, resources that make you happy. Start now, because you deserve to be happy.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video, because you are awesome.
If you want to learn the simple step you need to take to achieve real freedom, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy it. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
The more you practice, the better you get at something, the more skilled you are at it, the more information you have, the more it actually allows you to play more, have more fun, be more flexible,